Hey, somebody needs to light both burners. You have? Excellent. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. You are listening to The Professional Noticer. Hello, everyone. I'm Andy Andrews. Hey, thank you for making me a part of your week. My purpose here today and with every show we do is to play the part of a best friend or coach. I want to help you live the life of your wildest dreams by giving you access to the greatest mentors the world has to offer today. The Professional Noticer is sponsored this week by our friends at Tucker ATV. You know, the sheer variety of power sport products at Tucker ATV will blow your mind. Hustler turf equipment, the entire line of Echo power tools, and of course, Tucker ATV carries every make and model of Polaris ATVs. They have the big Polaris side-by-sides and the even bigger Ranger Cruise. And you have to see the showroom. Taxidermy, antique displays, indoor porch with its porch swing, comfortable chairs, television, coffee. Stop in and meet Shannon and Lisa Tucker. They treat customers like family, which is why folks from 14 states have done business with Tucker ATV. Highway 43 North in Jackson, Alabama. Tucker ATV, the small town business with the national reputation. Observations and answers. That's what we do here on The Professional Noticer, and we love it when somebody comes to the table with both. We have a special treat for us today. I've looked around, I haven't seen any food. I was hoping maybe we would have food, but I'm excited about our guest because I guess he just makes me hungry. He is a legend in this area, and everybody has heard of Bill-E Stitt because they know it's just, you mean the bacon guy? Yeah, that's right, Billy's Bacon. It's Billy's restaurant in Fairhope, Alabama, and we're having Billy on at a great time in his and the restaurant's life because they've just been voted to have the best burger in the state of Alabama. So please welcome the bacon guy, and now the burger guy, Bill-E Stitt. Billy, thank you for being with us.
I'm very happy to be here.
Man, I'm excited for everything that's happening for you. I started hearing about your bacon like a number of years ago, and everybody was like, you just wouldn't believe. Hey, and you know, you kind of think, how different can bacon be? But let me ask you, how different can bacon be?
Well, you know, I think all bacon's pretty good, but I think we do it better than anybody else. It starts with my team and the traditional way that we make it, and it's pretty awesome bacon.
Yeah, I opened the first pack that I opened. It's wrapped in paper,
right,
like the old butcher style,
exactly.
and when I opened up the first pack, I went through the house and found my wife and I said, look at this. Just look at it. I mean, because it just looks different. It's bigger. It's leaner. And so how did you land on bacon as your trademark? Your name's Billy, so you had to find something with a B?
Well, you know, I always been in the food business. I mean, my dad sold empty bags and boxes. He sold packaging. And he would call on food companies, and then I just learned to make bacon when I was a teenager back in Yazoo City, Mississippi. And then
now that's amazing to me right there, because I always think, what is it in the water at Yazoo City, Mississippi? Because Jerry Clower's from there, Zig Ziglar is from there, Bill-E Stitt is from there,
and some beautiful people, just some really lovely people inside and out.
And you know, you said you learned to make bacon. How do you make bacon?
Well, Dad was really big on my brother and I learning a little bit about everything.
Okay.
And he made it a point that he said, listen, guys, I know you guys are going to do this and you're going to do that, and you're probably going to want to go to college. You're probably going to want a car. But if you want a nice car, you got to work. If you want to go to college and have the right experience, you're going to have to help. And I said, okay, all right. And he goes, well, your brother at about 9 years old knew he wanted to be a doctor. And guess what? He's a doctor today. He delivers babies. I deliver bacon and burgers. And so I would travel with Dad as my brother and I would. He'd throw us in the car and we'd wake up in St. Louis, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Chicago, New York. And he was selling packaging. But the whole time he was selling packaging, my brother's back there reading biology books. And I'm, looking out the window, looking at things. But we were taking people to breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and all these just incredible little mom and pop joints and everywhere,
Right.
around a factory, around a plant. Little towns like Chester, Illinois, where they made cake mixes and pastas and cereals, and a great company called Gilster Mary Lee. So Dad was calling on those guys, and we'd go to each one of the plants, and we would take the plant manager or the guy that bought the packaging to breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And I just fell in love with the food business. So Dad said, you need to pick what you want to do, and it doesn't matter if that changes. But he goes, what do you like? I said, well, I need to think about it a little bit. So we were coming back from
How old were you then?
Oh, I was 14. And we were coming back from near St. Louis. And Dad says, just start thinking about what you want to do. And I said, well, I like groceries. I like food. And he said, all right, let me think about it a little bit. And we get back home and go about our way. And one day after school, he said, he goes, son, I'm really proud of you. You and your brother, have done really well. And I found a guy that knows a little bit about meat and food.
Right.
And he goes, I want you to meet with him. So I met with a guy, and this is a little later when this started. I was 15 because I'd gotten my Eagle Scout.
Okay.
And the man goes, your dad says you're a hard worker, and and I'd been mowing yards and working on farms, and I always like to work. And the guy goes, I just need you to come in a couple of times during the week. It can be at your time. He goes, because number one, schools, you got to be your priority. Number two, you're an Eagle Scout, but you do not need to quit scouting. You need to stick with the program till you're 18 because the other boys need you. I kind of like the guy's thought process. He goes, you're playing football, you're participating. He goes, all of those things are more important than what I have for you here. But he goes, when you are here, I want all of you. I said, all right. He goes, you're going to clean, you're going to help me with my equipment and get it all right. And I'm going to teach you how to break down every animal. And at the end of things, I'm going to teach you some fun skills that you can use for the rest of your life. And it was great. So all throughout high school, I worked for this guy. And then when it got time to head off to college, he goes, I want to teach you how to make bacon the way our ancestors did. So that's how I got started. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want to teach you to make bacon the way our ancestors did.
Yeah.
You're obviously a very successful entrepreneur, and there's a couple of things that seem to run through as themes when I talk to people who are very successful entrepreneurs. I was just a couple of weeks ago with Beaver Applin, who is the owner of Buc-ee's. All these
What a great
places.
concept.
And there is there's parallels there. Both of you had fathers who had entrepreneurial spirits and knew how to impart those to their children and encouraged that at an early age. Not, what you started at 12 and 13 and 14 and 15, it may seem odd to some people today, but Benjamin Franklin spoke 4 languages when he was 14 and was translating for adults. And so, you're in a long line of achievers with that entrepreneurial spirit and being encouraged as a young person. Another one that I see is this Eagle Scout thing, the scouting thing. And so that does put you in great stead. And before I get off the bacon, this is when everybody talks about Bill-E Stitt, they say, the bacon guy, because your bacon is so different. So how did our ancestors do it?
Their goal was not to make something flavorful. Their goal was to preserve something. They'd gone out and they'd hunted some animal and they were like, oh my gosh, I can't let this spoil. I've got to be able to save this so I can make it, so we can get through the winter or whatever hard times are coming on. And so the curing process really had nothing to do with flavor in the beginning. It had everything to do with how can we prevent spoilage? How can we keep my family safe, give them something that they can eat from here for a long time? So it's heavy salt. It's brown sugar with real molasses and a lot of it. And you just take these beautiful bellies that have been raised properly, treated right, and you take these bellies and you just encrust them in that. You do the tops, bottoms, sides, crevices. If you think you got enough on there, you do it all over again. And we let those bellies rest under refrigeration for it's not 7, not 9, but 8 days. It's a set thing that really works for me. And after 8 days, the bacon is cured. It started off dry, but then all the liquid gets pulled out of it. And then we take the bellies and we smoke them. And the man taught me, he said, a lot of people are going to talk to you about smoking, and they're going to say, you want to use this, you want to use that, this kind of flavor, that kind of flavor. He goes, but stick with hickory. He goes, it's available all over North America. Every state has it. And the experts all use it. And he says, stick with hickory. It's very traditional. It burns properly. It doesn't get too hot. And it's not going to give such flavor that you forget that it's pork. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to end up with a product that was chef-friendly, that was more than something you sprinkled on top of your salad, more than something that you just fry up with your eggs in the morning, but something that a chef would want to put in the center of the plate, make it a premium protein, something that jumps out at you and says, I still know that it's pork.
Right.
And so it's not buried in smoke. It's not covered with some crazy flavoring. You get a little hint of the hickory, a little hint of the salt, and a little hint of the sweet molasses and the sugar, but you still know it's bacon. You still know it's pork.
Yeah. And another thing that kind of blew my mind when I looked at my first package is it's big.
It is.
It's big. What?
Yeah.
Now, so what are you doing different, or what are they doing different? Because your bacon, it's like twice as big as the bacon you see in the grocery store.
Right.
So what is that? Is it just big pigs, or?
Well, the simple answer is I have a really high standard, and my team has a high standard. We knew that not going out and just buying the cheapest bellies was going to get us what we wanted. Because we bought every kind of belly you can imagine. We tested every other company's bacon that was out there. So we created a specification that we wanted. We wanted a belly that was no hormones, no growth antibiotics. We want to know that the pigs can go outside when they want to, stay inside when they want to. One guy said it better than anything. He goes, I want to know they can go outside and play in the clover and come inside and write in coloring books. I was like, that's the kind of pig I want.
Yeah.
And so I met with these original farmers, and now I have about 25 that grow for me. And that's the start of it. I get a belly that's peeled, meaning no skin, no rind, trimmed, and I just buy the bellies right now. My goal is to do all parts of the pig one day. I don't have the space, but so the bellies come in peeled and trimmed, and nothing I do goes back into the drain or back into the, everything gets reused. And so it's a really cool little business. Yeah.
And the bacon comes thick sliced and unsliced.
Unsliced is the way to go. And I know you may have been going there with a question, but I'm just going to tell you. We started off selling 10% of our model was unsliced and 90% was sliced. And then now we're about 50-50.
Really? And
I think we'll probably be 60-40 pretty soon, because restaurants will order the quarter bellies and they just go nuts over them, because the chef can do whatever they want to with it.
Right.
They can make it sliced. They can make it cubes. They can do pork belly burn-ins. They can make lardons. They can make their own pancetta. They can do just about anything they want to with it, and all the hard work's been done. So they're not spending all this time curing and smoking and tying up all this space.
Right.
So that's where my product is just really pops in place.
So how big is your smokehouse?
Small.
Is it small?
Everything's made in small batches. Got a guy out in Texas that makes these beautiful, lovely smoker boxes for me. They've got 5 parts on them, and everybody on my team can fix them. So we're not going to be down.
Wow.
And then we fill the chip boxes with hickory chips and let them roll. And it takes about 10 to 12 days to make a full batch from cure to smoke to slice to packaging. And we make quite a bit.
I love the look of your restaurant.
Thanks. It's a happy accident.
Well, I love the look of it. And on your website, it says, what is it? Casual rustic.
Very much, yeah.
Casually rustic.
That's right.
And that's just, so it's Highway 181.
That's right.
It's
used to be.
It used to be 181.
It used to be 27.
It used to be Highway 27.
County Road 27.
Right.
Yeah.
And now 181.
Yeah.
Why did they name it 181?
Well, when it went from a county road to a state road, it got another number.
Oh, okay.
So
I guess.
Went from 27 to 181. And our original slogan was Old 27 Grill for folks who just can't say Highway 181. Yeah. And we had 27 toppings on the dogs and the hamburgers. And it was just a little crazy and a little busy, so we had to kind of settle things down, and we stuck with Bill-E's.
Now, does it surprise you, as much effort as you put into bacon, does it surprise you to have a major award-winning hamburger?
Well, we're a burger joint that just so happens to make our own bacon. And so that's my goal. And I actually have a burger on the menu called the Bill-E's Blended Burger. And it's 85% certified Angus beef, and 15% of my bacon ends and pieces that have already been cured and smoked.
Oh, man.
Blended together into a delicious patty. You don't need to add any seasoning to it because it's ready to go. And
my God.
Cook it nice, medium rare or medium, and we serve it with a soft fried egg on top, Wickles pickles underneath it, on a locally fresh baked bun. It's an all Alabama burger.
Wow. Yeah, see, my wife, Polly, she considers herself a burger person. Okay. She's always in search of a great burger. And I went home the other day when I found out you'd won the award, and I said, I got your place now.
Okay.
I got your place. So I can't wait to take, because she has not been there. And so I can't wait to take her.
Let's fix that. Let's get y'all there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So what do you do different? I mean, you had the blended burger, but I'm assuming it wasn't the blended burger that won you the award.
Just our standard certified Angus beef patty. It's a great patty.
Okay, but everybody has certified Angus beef patties, sure. I'm assuming. Yeah. So what do you do different?
Well, we don't do much.
And you don't have to tell me your secret.
No,
but we have all gone in places like I'll tell you one. There is a famous steak place in Tampa, and it's called Burns Steakhouse.
Yeah.
And it's a famous place. I don't like it. And the reason I don't like it is because they may have fine cuts of meat, but it's just like cooked meat.
Right.
It doesn't taste like anything. It's just, I could take a piece of meat like that and put it on the stove in a frying pan and cook it. But some people do just amazing things with, and you obviously do.
We try to be very traditional. We serve a great patty. Of course, we've got our standard burger. We've got the Holy Cow burger, which is with a peppercorn cream sauce on top of it. We've got, my favorite is the chili cheeseburger. How do you go wrong with that? That's what I grew up with, was chili with no beans. And I put a little bacon in my chili. And then, a couple of big slices of American cheese, because it's a cheeseburger. It's got to have a lot of cheese on it. And then the other burgers, we've got the mushroom burger, the black and blue burger, which is blackened with Key Southern Spice, a local guy and his daughter here in Fairhope. It's great. It's a low sodium overall seasoning that's just, so anything you get blackened at my restaurant comes with Key Southern Spice.
I'll tell you an embarrassing story about that Southern Spice.
Okay.
And that, and this was, 15, maybe 20 years ago. And that stuff had just come out, I guess.
Yeah.
And my neighbor, our nearest neighbor to the east, this was after Hurricane Ida, right? And everybody was kind of getting together. We'd say, okay, it's going to be burger night at the Smiths. Okay, it's going to be shrimp night at the Andrews. Okay, right. And so there were 3 or 4 of us all come together, and so over there one night, John Smith, who has passed away now, but John, we had steaks, and it had this amazing taste. And we said, what is that? He said, well, I call it black stuff. I'm getting it up in Birmingham. And he said, here, let me show you. So he goes back in the kitchen, comes back with a Ziploc bag of this black powder in this Ziploc bag. And we said, that's what this is? He said, yeah, smell it. So I smell it. And he said, man, it's really good. And I'm like, can you get me some? He said, I'll see if I can find you some. So next time they come down, he brings me this little baggie of this black stuff. And for about 2 years, I'll say, hey, John, I need some black stuff if you could, And so for about 2 years, he'd bring me a little baggie of it. And then I was writing a book, and they allowed me to use their house. The boys were little and it was noisy. So I was just going over the house, right? So I was walking around the kitchen one day just trying to think of some stuff, and I opened up the cabinet and I see the Southern seasonings, that steak powder, whatever. And something about it just hit me, and I pulled it down, I smelled it, I unscrewed it and went. And John had been for 2 years buying that stuff and dumping it in a baggie and give it here. I got some of this
funny. It's like your dealer.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I'm telling you.
Wow.
So, hey, I've seen pictures. I haven't seen the truck, but tell me about your cooking truck. Tell me.
Well, this truck is a 1958 Chevy Apache, and it's kind of fell into my lap when I opened the restaurant, and is of a huge money pit. But every now and then I will throw a few dollars at it. I've got it running now, and got the electrical going pretty good, and I feel like I can get where I'm going and maybe get home. But in the back, it has a full kitchen. I can lift up the top and let the tailgates down on the chains, pull out my kitchen, and I can stand there and I can grill, I can griddle, I can saute, I can fry, and I can do it all. I can pull up at your business or your home and just knock your socks off.
Somebody told me that you pulled up at Page and Pallet, the bookstore in Fairhope, not too long ago, and lowered the gate, pulled the thing out, and just started making burgers for people passing by.
That's right. They're good friends of mine there, and that's kind of my little sneak away place when I'm not at my own place. And I had the best time. It was Super Bowl day, and I brought some all beef slider patties and some bacon, of course. And I just knocked out about, 300-400 sliders and just had a good time.
Oh my gosh. I know Kiefer. I know that they were thrilled.
It was a big day.
Yeah. I know they were thrilled. So what is something that you haven't done yet that you've got in the back of your mind and you're going to do this?
I want to grow the bacon brand in a great way. I don't want to be everywhere, but I want to be at the best places from all different levels in each city. It's an expensive bacon. It's a commitment when you decide to get it. But I want a chef to get it and appreciate it. So I want to grow the bacon brand. I'm shipping it to every state right now.
Really?
But I want to be in distribution where more restaurants can get it. And I have 4 distributors that are really being good friends and working hard with me and pushing it very hard. And once somebody gets it, they stick with it. And then I want to be in places like Buc-ee's. I know Buc-ee's has a lot of their own products, but what a cool concept. I want to be there. Right. I want to be in this. Do you remember the old Stuckey's?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're making a huge comeback. I'd like to make their bacon.
Yeah.
I want to make some different lines of bacon. And then I really want to do all parts of the pig. My butts and my shoulders and my ribs. I do them a lot different than most people. Most people buy that stuff and then they just season it up and start smoking it. I would cure mine. So I take my butts and I put my same bacon cure on it and let it cure for 2 to 3 days. And then I smoke it. And so it's a totally different barbecue. And then I want to grow the restaurant company. I want to build about 6 more little Billies, all within driving distance where I can come home and be in my own bed at night. I want to go to Pensacola and Destin and 30A. I want to go to Mobile and Ocean Springs and Covington, Louisiana, places like that. And I want to find the right people that have that son or daughter or nephew or niece that maybe did a little college, maybe not, but has always fallen in love with the hospitality business and the restaurant business.
Right.
That wants to start, that would be willing to come and help me at where I am at my main location, which is my only location, and learn the brand, and then have some skin in the game. And that's what I want to do. I want 6 little Billies within a close range, and then I want to grow the bacon brand to where it's a household name.
So your bacon, you're shipping to 50 states?
Oh yeah. We ship to Guam.
Golly. That is amazing. So how do people get it? Do they go on a website?
Click on the website and you click shop, and it's going to take you to our Goldbelly site. And Goldbelly has been great for me. I didn't have the power to really market like I needed to get it out there. And they called me. This was quite a few years ago, and they said, Billy, we love your bacon. We're hearing good things about it. We would like to feature your bacon. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? And then we kind of went through the steps, and I was like, okay, they're going to do the marketing. They're going to take the phone calls. They're going to take the emails, and all I got to do is print off this label and package it all up and stick their swag in it and ship it to all these households around the country. And the guy was like, that's it. And that's what we do. And then, occasionally somebody's like, well, it's just real expensive. And I'm like, it's not cheap to do all this. And they'll buy it directly, and that's not a problem either. So, and Goldbelly has just been really good for a maker like myself.
Right.
And I think they're a great, they don't make anything, they don't store anything, but they help guys that do.
Yeah.
And been really, really good for me.
That is awesome. And I love how you're already thinking in the future. It's like got my my main location. Well, it's my only location, but I love how you're thinking in the future there. And man, you're going to get this done. It's
going to happen. I don't know when, and I still don't know all the hows, but I don't go to bed at night worried about it. I don't wake up in the morning thinking, what am I doing? I'm doing what I was built to do. And I'm happy. I struggle in a lot of ways, and I hit some brick walls at times, but I pray about it a lot, and I talk to experts a lot, and I'm eventually going to have some help. I'm going to have to find, the right growth pathway, but I'm not there yet, but it's going to happen. Yeah.
That is just awesome. I'm so happy for you, proud of and for you. There's a friend that I have up in Nashville named Andy Marshall that has done kind of sounds like what you're wanting to do. He has a bunch of restaurants there, and they're called Puckett's. Okay. And started there in Franklin, and now they're kind of all over the state of Tennessee and in Coleman, Alabama, and
good places.
And so, but you have live music at your thing, and so I'm recommending this guy.
I'm ready to meet him.
I think Austin would love.
He needs to come serenade the bacon.
Yeah, serenade the bacon.
He'll get a sticker for his guitar case that says I came and I sang to the bacon.
That's great.
That's right.
That is awesome. Well, buddy, how can we help you?
But just order the bacon, of course. Come to the restaurant. Send your friends and family. Just watch and help me get the word out. Keep my team in mind. It's one thing to do one thing, but it's another thing to get it done through a team. And I have wonderful people. Some of them had the restaurant skill set, and some of them didn't. But they do a great job.
Yeah.
And you got to let them do their thing. And so pray about our team and encourage them. And not just my restaurant. Now is the time more than ever that America needs to get out there and walk into a restaurant and say, I met you, you're the server, and I see the manager, and I see the host, but who's back on the grill? How do I say thank you to that guy or that girl? Who's the one washing the dishes? Who unloaded the truck today? Meet these people, because every community has fast casual restaurants, casual dining restaurants, and fine dining restaurants. And if you did the math, the hospitality industry is by far the largest industry in the world. And we got to get out and support them. We got to get out there and eat, and we got to order. We're not complain about a $3 iced tea. There's a reason it's $3. And that's so the place can still be there.
Yeah.
And we got to order. We got to walk into places and we got to say, what do I want? And that's like my bacon cheeseburger. People come in and they know they want the bacon cheeseburger. There's the menu. Send me the bacon cheeseburger. But get out there and spend more time in restaurants and encourage people, all ages, when they're behind a counter working in a restaurant, when they're waiting tables, when they're washing dishes, when they're cooking, and when they're managing these places. They're our lifeblood. Get to know them to find out what makes them click.
Well, you have encouraged me today, and I really appreciate you taking the time to come be with us. And we are going to support you, and we are going to spread the word.
Thank you.
About you and about the bacon and the burgers and the restaurant. And so
that means a lot.
And so we will definitely keep in there. But thank you, Billy. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, buddy. I'm Andy Andrews, the professional noticer, harnessing common sense and wisdom to plow through challenges all the way to an answer for you. And I think that'll do it for this week. Get us out of here, Matthew. So, ladies and gentlemen, and to the boys and girls who aspire to become ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of another episode of The Professional Noticer. In a world where common sense has become a superpower, I am harnessing that tiny bit of mental energy I have for you. Seeking wisdom, making observations, and endeavoring to answer tough questions in a way that will empower your family and your business. I'm Andy Andrews. Until next week, goodbye. This episode of The Professional Noticer was produced by Matt Limper. The Noticer theme written and performed by Sugarcane Jane. Hickory chunks for the cast and crew provided by Twinkle and Smoke of Beverly Hills. Additional financial consideration provided by BetterWordChoices.com, the only website that makes you sound smarter even though you're saying the same thing as everyone else. Friend, does your everyday language bore you? Do you long for a more exciting way of referring to objects that have been called the same thing for hundreds of years? Now you can subscribe to BetterWordChoices.com and learn a tilted nuance to leave conversational partners in awe of your advanced language skills. Make people think when you talk. You are already an innovative speaker. While others ask for water, you order H2O. Though most put gas in their cars, you fill up with petrol. While some ask for a haircut, you say, I need 'em all cut. So BetterWordChoices.com will help you take your innovative style of speaking to the next level. Instead of ordering a glass of wine in a restaurant, you'll ask for a goblet of liquid grape decay. Instead of ordering a rare steak, just tell them to run a cow through a warm room. BetterWordChoices.com. No more bacon and egg breakfast for you. From now on, it's all shredded swine flesh and chicken embryos. BetterWordChoices.com.